Some heirloom purple garlic from the Northampton Farmers Market, a purple onion, a red bell pepper, some fresh oregano, some Italian pepperoncinis, and some vine-ripened tomatoes.
Nothing from a can.
Nothing from a can.
We're making
pizza!
And we're starting with
Fleischmann's Active Dry Yeast.
It's not hot water, so you don't want it to go to a boil because otherwise it will kill the yeast. This is just to activate the yeast, and so we want to give it a little bath. So the temperature of bath water is about the perfect temperature for the yeast as well. And we're just going to put that warm water into a bowl, and then we're going to put 1 tablespoon of sugar, which is going to serve as the food for the yeast. I'm just going to gently stir it and dissolve the sugar. Then we're going to put the yeast into the sugar water. I'm going to give it a little bit of a stir and wake those bad boys up. And let's just get one final view of what's happened with the yeast over those couple of minutes. You see they're bubbling up beautifully. And the next thing that we're going to do is just add 1 teaspoon of salt in with our yeast. And we're also going to add 1 tablespoon of olive oil. And gradually add in the flour. And then we're just trying to incorporate all of the ingredients at this point, and then we are going to put the dough out onto our kneading surface, which is this beautiful countertop. And the whole point of kneading the dough is to manipulate the gluten in the flour so that there's the reaction between the water and the gluten, and also you're helping the yeast.
Now the flour we're using says white whole wheat flour. Does that give us any relief from pizza remorse? Is this a healthier pizza?
This is not necessarily a healthier pizza. It's good that we're using unbleached flour, but we're still using wheat flour, which tastes delicious. You know, but it does have some...
It's pizza.
It's pizza.
Now how long do you let it sit after all of this?
Normally about an hour or an hour and a half. It depends on the temperature. Definitely you want not too hot because you don't want to cook it, but warmer is always better than cooler because the yeast like the warm. Roll it around so it's fully coated with the olive oil, and that will keep it from sticking to the bowl.
And let it rise.
And let it rise. I'm going to put it in the oven, which is not on. But if you're in a cold location, if you turn on the oven for just a short period of time and then turn it off, it creates a perfect proofing box. My preferred method of roasting the peppers, you can put them in the oven. You can put the oven on, 450, 500 degrees. Put the peppers in, and you just want to wait until the skins have turned black. But a more preferable way of doing it is to use your stove if you have a gas stove. All you're going to do, or you can use a grill, but you're just going to put the peppers on the flame.
Right on the flame.
Right on the flame.
No pan.
No pan.
Oh no!
Alright, now we've got some good sizzling butter. Butter, like butter.
It's like butter.
We're going to add our sliced onions. to sweat them rather than sauteing them. Because you're really trying to take the sugars out of them. That's what caramelizing is. It's removing the sugar and keeping it on the outside. The next thing I'm going to add is just a little splash of Worcestershire. It gives a little bit of extra body to the onions. Just a very little bit. The next thing that we're going to do is make a balsamic reduction. We're going to use the same pan that we did the caramelized onions in because it's got a little bit of seasoning, a little bit of the sugars that are actually going to help us reduce the balsamic vinegar. So we're just starting on low heat with the pan flat to pour the balsamic vinegar into the pan. Our peppers have cooled down, we're going to peel the crust off of them. So at this point I'm going to add just a little bit of sugar. We've chopped our peppers into strips, fairly decent sized strips, and I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil to them. And I also like to add just a little bit of salt. Mix them up. Not just any olives, Kalamata olives.
So this pizza will feature both tomato and tomato sauce.
Absolutely.
Not mutually exclusive.
This is not your Italian grandmother's sauce recipe. It's really nice to just do some large cubes and use a food processor. However, in our situation, I'm just going to cube the tomatoes and then they'll reduce and break apart as they're cooking. Meanwhile, in the oven,
Start stretching.
that's exactly right.
Or you could pick it up and
I
kind
do a lot
of
of picking up.
do this sort of maneuver.
So these pizzas have a little something for everyone.
Exactly. We will now put them in the 500-degree oven. Now we're ready to take the pizzas out of the oven.
To the oohs and ahs of those hungry funsters who collaborated.
That's right, it's a collaborative effort.
Tell me what you're feeling.
I feel hungry.
Huh?
Very hungry.
And you.
Starving.
You. And that's all there is to it.
Don't go away. When we come back, we're going to be making Jose Cuervo, the original margarita mix margaritas.